It's Thursday, April 2nd. Energy prices rising after U.S. President Trump's address to the nation. Mason will have the latest in a moment.
Our armed forces have been extraordinary. There's never been anything like it militarily. Everyone is talking about it.
Trump says the U.S. will hit Iran hard over the next few weeks. Iran vowing to retaliate.
3, 2, 1. Booster ignition and liftoff.
The latest on the Artemis mission on its 10-day journey around the moon. Good morning and happy Thursday. Thank you so much for joining us. It is going to be a wet one, you're saying today.
Not ideal with the long weekend upon us. Oof. So special weather statement in effect for those area highways with the wet mix that we're dealing with right now. We're seeing the temperature in Corner Brooks at -1. So we're really close to that freezing mark there. So we have the snow falling right now. Looking at your school day forecast here, brought to you by the Alberta Teachers Association, hovering around -2 throughout the morning. The bulk of the snow falling during the morning hours, but we could have some light flurries still lingering this afternoon, Jackie, when we hit that high of 0.
Okay, thanks, Gina. Let's take a quick look at traffic. So starting this morning and wrapping up tomorrow afternoon, there will be a two-way traffic on the south side of Memorial Drive. That's between 68th Street and Abbeydale Drive northeast because of utility work. And then traffic signal work is happening at Mahogany Gate and Mahogany Boulevard southeast. That will end on Monday afternoon. So for now, weekdays between 9 a.m., 3 p.m., there are left lane closures in all directions at the traffic circles. And here is a live look at Stony Trail and Deerfoot in the northeast. As you can see, roads are wet as that snow begins to fall. Oil prices are back in focus, and so are prices at the pump after Donald Trump's address and escalating global tensions. Markets are reacting. Mason Despatie is tracking this all for us. So, Mason, how quickly is that hitting drivers here in Calgary?
Well, Jackie, the price of oil reacts instantly, but for gas prices, it can take a couple days to adjust to price swings. According to Gas Buddy, the price across Calgary right now is averaging $1.65 per liter, but in this part of town, I'm seeing a lot of stations at $1.77 this morning. The key figure to watch here, though, is WTI crude. That, of course, sets the baseline for what refineries pay and ultimately what drivers pay at the pump. Right now, it's being pushed by global uncertainty, jumping about 9% to more than $109 a barrel. That spike partially followed Donald Trump's address yesterday, where the U.S. president said objectives in Iran are nearly complete, but still threatened to escalate conflict. Those tensions linked to the war are raising concerns about continued supply disruptions in the Middle East. That matters because even the threat of disruption can push prices higher, and those costs don't just stop at the pump. The Canadian Federation of Independent Grocers says higher fuel prices are already working their way into the supply chain.
They're already getting notifications of price increases, and in some cases, some of the distributors of products are tapping on surcharges, fuel surcharges, onto their deliveries.
Now, Jackie, the impact really depends here on what's being shipped. If it's high-value items like electronics, a few $100s more in fuel doesn't change much. But if it's groceries like produce, that same change can quickly push prices higher for consumers.
Okay, thank you so much, Mason. Well, Calgary police, they're still looking for the person responsible for a fatal attack in Ogden last week. Police were called to a house on Crestwood Road last Thursday. A man was rushed to hospital but later died from his injuries. He has been identified as 28-year-old Dorthor Metkrajok. Police are still looking for a suspect. And Calgary police have made an arrest as part of an investigation into a series of extortion attempts targeting the city's South Asian community. On March 4th, a home on Martindale Boulevard in the northeast was shot at multiple times. Police say 2 daycares outside of the city were also vandalized and staff were threatened. 45-year-old Rana Chima has been charged with extortion and uttering threats. Police allege that Chima was trying to acquire large sums of money and control of businesses in the community.
This is just the start of our enforcement work. Our investigators are continuing to work diligently to fully understand the scope, identify additional suspects, and disrupt these groups.
Since January of last year, there have been 41 extortion attempts in Calgary. 18 of those involved shootings. Anyone with information is asked to contact police or Crime Stoppers. Calgary's emergency services are preparing for big budget asks in an effort to keep up with the growing city. The fire department needs crews for some of its trucks, and police hope to hire hundreds of officers over the next 4 years. Here's Jordan Canigan.
Calgary's emergency crews are dealing with more calls, and they're getting more complex.
When there's a shorter amount of people doing just as much of work or more complex work or more traumatic work, it has an absolute impact on our membership.
19% of officers are currently on leave or have accommodations keeping them off the front lines. The police chief wants to see 660 more officers hired over the next 4 years.
There are numbers that we need in each area because we've looked at the call load, we've looked at what's required.
Calgary is roughly 147 officers per 100,000 residents, a much lower ratio than cities like Vancouver, Edmonton, and Toronto. The national average is 178 officers per 100,000 people.
This is an issue that the province could erase in a single instant. The fine revenue that they defunded our Calgary Police by, $28 million, that fine revenue would accommodate for at least 200 of the positions that the chief is asking for without raising a single cent or a single dollar of taxes on Calgarians or Albertans.
That money went away when the province limited photo radar locations. The city is covering the gap for now, but other departments need money too.
We need to open new stations and put new apparatus into service, new trucks into service, and for all of those things we need firefighters.
Exact funding requests aren't yet known, but the fire chief says they need money for more crews to man aerial ladder trucks and medical response units. Call volume is up, and city sprawl is making response times slower than targeted.
We've grown the city with new stations on the periphery by just putting an engine in there, but not really thinking about how we need more of those ladder trucks.
Funding asks will be made in the coming months, and the next budget cycle will be debated in November. Jordan Canigan, CTV News, Calgary.
In a statement, the province says that there are no plans to expand photo radar, but the transportation minister says that fines for offences like speeding, careless driving, and stunting, they have increased, and some of that money will go to municipalities. Well, Calgary's housing supply varies depending on the property type. The Calgary Real Estate Board says supply remained above the 10-year average for both row and apartment-style units and well below trend for detached homes. Housing sales were just shy of 1,900 in March. That's a slight jump year over year, but down 13% on average for the month. The benchmark for a detached home is $741,000 and $300,000 for a condo in Calgary. Watch parties were held across Canada and here in Calgary to see the first moon mission in more than half a century. The Artemis 2 mission launched from Florida yesterday, and Mark Villani has more.
2, 1, booster ignition, and liftoff.
It's a moment that feels like history coming back to life. The Artemis 2 mission marks the first time since 1972 that humans have traveled beyond low Earth's orbit, sending 4 astronauts on a journey around the moon and back. At a University of Calgary watch party, it's turning textbook learning into reality.
It's just been very an abstraction of we went to the moon. So it's very cool to see that, it's something we're still doing, we're still excited about.
It's a feeling of patriotism that I feel like is unparalleled to see that.
This is Jeremy. We are going for all humanity.
For the first time, a Canadian is orbiting the moon. Astronaut Jeremy Hansen is on board the mission. Calgarian Jenny Gibbons serving as his backup after completing the same training.
Is meant to be the beginning of opening up space in a fundamentally different way, and so creating the moon as a platform for human activity.
And for these grad students, it's a powerful reminder that their research could one day be aiding missions like this.
It's so fun to watch how we're innovating and how even these innovations that feel at times not necessarily connected, how they all build into this bigger and bigger picture.
That bigger picture is also helping break barriers as a new generation, including more women, see themselves in space.
Little girls can also see that this astronaut is going to the moon, so they could also go to the moon one day. These rocket launches and these missions to the moon that really helps drive excitement and interest in astronomy.
It's also inspiring some students to aim even higher.
I'd love to go to the moon.
Christian Keenan studies physics and astronomy. He hopes the launch blazes a trail towards deep space exploration.
And after that, maybe an interplanetary gateway between Mars and Earth, and then from there, moving on to settling on Mars.
Meanwhile, professors say this could also change how we see ourselves, pointing to the famous Earthrise photo from the Apollo era, with this mission hoping to shape the future of humanity.
They're trying to do something that will inspire us for generations to come.
Mark Villani, CTV News, Calgary.
Fabulous looking weather for that launch yesterday down in Florida. Different story for us in Calgary today. We're definitely getting that little Easter preview when it comes to weather here. Just messy right now. Low visibility out there. Apologies, my temperature didn't pop up on the screen there, but we're sitting at around -1, -2 at the airport right now, sitting at same temperature values downtown here. And also taking a look at Corner Brook, it is -2 currently. You can afford a home in Corner Brook by West Creek, but can't afford to wait. Now, outside of, we got our dog walking forecast here popping in. Pepper coming in a little early, but we can show your dog walking forecast here. A lot of snow in the morning with those temperatures right around the freezing mark, turning into flurries this afternoon. -2, we're seeing that again in the city here. 1 degree in Lethbridge, 2 degrees in Medicine Hat. So a lot of temperatures right now right at around that freezing mark, factoring in that rain snow mix. Very bad conditions on the roads for today, which is why we have this special weather statement in effect. We'll talk about that in more detail in our next hit here, as well as how long this snow will be sticking around for and when we're anticipating to see the bulk of it fall. But by tomorrow, Good Friday there, more sunshine in the forecast and some nice positive temperatures to carry us through the rest of the long weekend. Your cheapest gas brought to you by Country Hills Toyota, home of free winter tires and $5,000 off new electric BZ and Tacomas, your Toyota Giant. Prices aren't great this morning, obviously, with yesterday's announcement by the president of the U.S. there. So the lowest I'm seeing right now is at the Petro-Can on 4th Street Southwest at $163.9 a liter. Coming up, we'll have the 5 things you need to know before you head out the door this morning. Stay with us.
Here are the 5 things you need to know for today.
We could be looking at vessels, demining expertise, intelligence, cyber capabilities as being items that Canada will contribute.
35 countries, including Canada, are set to meet virtually today to look at ways to reopening the Strait of Hormuz. Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand said that Canada would not hesitate to help secure the strait once there is a ceasefire. The U.S. will not be there.
Our armed forces have been extraordinary. There's never been anything like it militarily. Everyone is talking about it, and tonight I'm pleased to say that these core strategic objectives are nearing completion.
U.S. President Donald Trump giving an update on the Iran war during a primetime address to the nation last night. Trump says U.S. forces will hit Iran very hard over the next 2 to 3 weeks. He also suggested the war could wind down without a deal. In response, Iran's military is warning of crushing and destructive attacks.
Death of 1,000 cuts. You know, everywhere you go, everything is a few cents more.
We're already getting notifications of price increases, and in some cases, some of the distributors of products are tapping on surcharges, fuel surcharges.
And don't be surprised if your grocery bills start going up because of rising fuel costs impacting the supply chain. The Canadian Federation of Independent Grocers says shoppers should brace for higher prices. And maybe you've already seen a spike as some retailers admit they just can't absorb the rising costs. Experts say just how much of the shipping costs will be passed on to shoppers depends on what's being shipped. They also expect prices to remain inflated months after a potential end to the war. And people buying Easter chocolate may notice prices are high, even though cocoa prices are down. The cost for some chocolate is up about 15%, while cocoa has fallen more than 60% since last year. But analysts say that demand is high this time of year. Also, products on the shelves now were made months ago, and prices don't reflect costs right now.
3, 2, 1, booster ignition, and liftoff.
Integrity, good roll pitch.
Roger, roll pitch.
Well, the Artemis spacecraft is orbiting the Earth right now after yesterday's historic launch from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. 4 astronauts are on their way to the moon, and that includes Canadian mission specialist Jeremy Hansen. Dave Popowich, portfolio manager with the Popowich-Carmelli Advisor Group, joins us now. Good morning, Dave. How is the day setting up?
Well, Jackie, it's setting up to be a difficult start to the trading day. President Trump had an opportunity last night to clarify the strategic objectives and perhaps present a clear message, but really presented a set of contradictory statements yet again, saying that the war could quickly come to an end or be resolved relatively soon. We might be able to get this done and get out of there without the Strait of Hormuz actually being open, but get a deal done. At the same time, saying we're going to hit Iran so hard we're going to put them back in the Stone Ages. So leaving the market to its own devices to interpret this, effectively the futures market's pointing to a very, very negative opening, reflecting the fact that the markets have basically just said this is a message that prolongs the conflict. It doesn't bring it to a quick conclusion. So unless President Trump, his message was designed to raise oil prices by 10%, drive up inflation expectations, increase prices at the pump, it'll be interesting to see not just the open today, but also how the administration walks back perhaps some of those comments throughout the day. But it will be a negative open, and it could be a volatile day today.
Certainly ripple effects. Okay, Dave Popowich, thank you so much. Stay with us. Our sidebar segment is next.
There's a look outside right now through our Skywatch weather camera, brought to you by Action Furnace. Fixed right or it's free. I always say when we see the lamppost shot here, visibility is not great outside right now, because that's as far out as we can get to that lamppost there with our rooftop camera. So heading out this morning, if you do have travel plans for this Easter long weekend, take it slow or wait it out for a little bit here. Wait till the morning hours are done. I'll show you our temperatures here, where we are going to see values really close to freezing today. Some areas will get into the positives outside of the city, but for us, 0 is as good as we're going to get for today. So below average conditions for this Thursday, again, heading into that Easter long weekend. Looking elsewhere, down the road to us in Medicine Hat, 3 degrees for the high today with a rain-snow mix. More flurries and snow in Lethbridge, because this is where that system is moving in from. It's going from the south to north, and Lethbridge really getting the bulk of it today. Not in the special weather statement quite yet, which is surprising, but Medicine Hat, you are joining us this morning under that criteria. But like I mentioned, there's that wave there coming in from the States and curling into Calgary there, transitioning from rain into snow the more north the system gets. And it's a big system too, coming in from the Pacific and swirling up from the States into Alberta here. So it's going to be sticking around, like I mentioned, for the morning hours, the heaviest snowfall before it tapers off heading into Friday morning there. But Lethbridge, it's going to be a more sustained snow event heading into the afternoon before the snow subsides heading into Good Friday. And then we get a bit of a reprieve, but flurries could return by the time Sunday comes around. Let's take a nice look here. Let's take a break from the snow. Look at this gorgeous sunset that Lois took for your morning view, brought to you by Lux Windows and Doors, crafting quality windows and doors for your style, budget, and Alberta's climate. If you have a picture, you can text it to us at 10400.
You know, all this snow kind of can get me in a sad mood.
That's
but
fair.
You know what always makes me feel better?
What's that?
Cute animal videos.
Of course.
Let's check it out.
Gentle. Gentle.
Oh, maybe the gentlest.
Gentle.
Also, can we talk about the handkerchief
So much
and leash combo?
Yes.
So Winnie, small but mighty, will take off a finger if she really.
Finally.
I love that. What do Olive and Perry do for treats?
You know what? Like, this whole video reminds me. Have you heard the term like rage baiting?
Yes.
I feel like the owner here is trying to rage bait the dog, but the dog's rage baiting me here. I'm like, just eat the treat.
Just eat the treat. You're more delicate than me.
No restraint when it comes to Olive and Perry, these cats.
No, they go for it.
They demand it. I always say they've trained me when to give them to treats and just how they like it.
Winnie will do that. She'll just stare at me and do her little stompers. And I
you're
know
like,
it's time for more food.
Yeah, time for the cheese tax.
Anything you want here, have a filet mignon.
Yeah, exactly. Twist my arm.
Yeah. If you have any videos you would like to submit for a sidebar, you can email them to us, of course, yourmorningcalgary@ctv.ca or text 10400. It's Thursday, April 2nd. Energy prices rising after U.S. President Trump's address to the nation. Mason will have the latest in a moment.
Our armed forces have been extraordinary. There's never been anything like it militarily. Everyone is talking about it.
Trump says the U.S. will hit Iran hard over the next few weeks, Iran vowing to retaliate.
3, 2, 1, booster ignition. And liftoff.
The latest on the Artemis mission on its 10-day journey around the moon. Good morning. Happy Thursday. Thank you so much for joining us. It is a special day today, a special weather statement day, that is.
Good tee up there.
Yeah.
And of course, it has to come right as the long weekend is approaching us. I know a lot of people have travel plans likely for today. This morning is not going to be an ideal time to be out on the roads in the city or out on Highway 1 or the QE2 with this rain-snow mix falling throughout south central Alberta right now. We're currently sitting at -1 in the city, and we're not going to move the needle much today, Jackie, with a high of just 0.
Okay, thanks so much, Gina. Let's take a quick look at traffic. There was an incident on Barlow Trail and 61st Ave, in the southeast. That's as for construction, transit signal work that starts tonight at 9 o'clock and ends Sunday at 10. And there should be a 24-hour westbound left lane closure on Crowchild Trail Northwest. That's approaching 40th Avenue in the northwest. And then a 24-hour eastbound left lane closure as well on Crowchild Trail Northwest at 53rd Street. And also, we want to give you a heads up. Tomorrow being Good Friday, thousands of people will be taking part in the outdoor Way of the Cross. This is the route they will be walking. It starts at St. Mary's Cathedral at 8:30 in the morning. And now here's a quick live look at Glenmore Trail and Crowchild Trail in the southwest. You can see snow starting to cover those roads in the area. Drive safe. Oil prices are back in focus, and so are prices at the pump. After Donald Trump's address and escalating global tensions, markets are reacting. Mason Despatie is tracking this all for us this morning. So, Mason, how quickly is that hitting drivers here in Calgary?
Well, Jackie, unlike oil prices, which react instantly, it takes a few days for gas prices to adjust to price swings. According to GasBuddy.com, the current average across the city is $1.65 a liter, but many stations where I'm at are $1.77 this morning. The key figure to watch right now is WTI crude. That is the benchmark baseline for what refineries pay and ultimately what drivers pay at the pump. Right now, it's being pushed by global uncertainty, jumping about 9% to more than $109 a barrel. That spike partially followed Donald Trump's address yesterday, where the U.S. president said objectives in Iran are nearly complete, but still threatened to escalate the conflict. Those tensions linked to the war are raising concerns about continued supply disruptions in the Middle East. That matters because even the threat of disruption can push prices higher, and those costs don't just stop at the pump. The Canadian Federation of Independent Grocers says higher fuel prices are already working their way into the supply chain.
They're already getting notifications of price increases, and in some cases, some of the distributors of products are tapping on surcharges, fuel surcharges, onto their deliveries.
And Jackie, the impact of all of this really depends on what's being shipped. For higher value items like electronics, there isn't much change, but for things like groceries and produce, that few $100s more in fuel costs are directly given to the consumer.
Okay, thank you so much, Mason. Well, if everything holds, Calgary's water restrictions, they could lift today. Crews have turned on the pumps and the Bearspaw South feeder main is now in operation. They're also keeping a close eye to make sure that the pipe and water system remain stable. Water restrictions began in Calgary and surrounding areas last month for repairs to that aging feeder main that saw 2 catastrophic breaks. Well, the province has introduced legislation that would give it more power over immigration. The new rules would require employers to register with the province before accessing federal temporary worker programs. It would also create a licensing system for immigration consultants and recruiters. Alberta's immigration minister says that Bill 26 would give the province information it was not receiving from Ottawa and provide safeguard for workers.
We're taking all legal means possible, which is in my mandate letter from the Premier, to take more control over provincial immigration. And in doing so, it will support the businesses in Alberta, and it will create a more transparent process for people coming from out of country to work.
If passed, the legislation would be implemented over time. Well, Calgary condo owners can now turn to a condominium dispute resolution tribunal to resolve disagreements. The province says 1 in 5 Albertans live in condos and that the new tribunal is a major step in strengthening consumer protections and improving governance. The tribunal will operate on a self-funded model paid for by the condo community. Fees for users range between $150 to $300. Thousands packed the Saddle Dome for the first ever PWHL game in Calgary last night between the Toronto Scepters and the Ottawa Charge.
Giving that back pressure. They score! Toronto strikes first in Calgary.
Well, some players and coaching staff, it's actually a homecoming of sorts, including Calgarian Jess Condis with the Scepters. Also from Calgary, Ottawa's head coach Carla McLeod and charge forward Sarah Wozniewicz. They're from Cochrane. Now Calgary is the second stop on the league's takeover tour. The final score 2-1 for the Scepters. All right, pretty exciting. Well, stay with us. Jody has, and by Jody I mean Gina, has a look at the 5-day forecast. Plus, we're going to get a business update from Dave. Stay with us.
CTV Ski Report, brought to you by Sunshine Village, home of Canada's best snow and hottest lifts.
We're wrapping up the shortened work week here with a messy mix outside right now. Here in the city, we're seeing that precipitation fall in the form of snow outside of Calgary. You might see it fall as a rain-snow mix or even rain if you're heading south. But we're at -2 at the airport right now. Northeast winds coming in at 17 kilometers an hour throughout the day. Throughout the day, those winds out of the north could be anywhere from 20 to 40 kilometers an hour. But we're seeing that -2 really covering much of Calgary when it comes to the temperature right now, just a touch colder in Cochrane and Airdrie and Bragg Creek. Taking a look at Corner Brook, -2, closing out all final phases. Last chance to build in Corner Brook by West Creek. Now it's time for your dog walking forecast, brought to you by Paul Ackerman Real Estate. We got the adorable Pepper, who always shows up for a festive theme, and of course is bringing the hippity-hoppity Easter spirit in this picture today, sent in by her owner Cindy. Pepper, I don't think you're going to want to be outside today. Enjoy your cute little Easter setup there indoors with the messy mix that we're going to be dealing with throughout the day. But if you do have a picture for us, really easy to send it our way. Just text 10400. Here's a look at those special weather statements we have in effect currently. So encompassing south central Alberta for the most part. And this morning, Medicine Hat got involved in that statement as well. Lethbridge not involved with it yet, but definitely dealing with the precipitation. And you can see over the last 3 hours, rain to snow in Lethbridge there, and Lethbridge expecting to get more of that precip throughout the afternoon. There's the inverted trough bringing in all that precipitation, but a nice ridge of high pressure starts to push in for Friday and Saturday. We do have the chance of some flurries heading into Sunday and Monday and more clouds, but nothing as messy as what we're dealing with today. So looking at your 5-day forecast, get back to some closer to seasonal temperatures starting tomorrow.
Here are the 5 things you need to know for today.
We could be looking at vessels, demining expertise, intelligence, cyber capabilities as being items that Canada will contribute.
35 countries, including Canada, are set to meet virtually today to look at ways to reopening the Strait of Hormuz. Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand said that Canada would not hesitate to help secure the strait once there is a ceasefire. The U.S. will not be there.
Our armed forces have been extraordinary. There's never been anything like it militarily. Everyone is talking about it, and tonight I'm pleased to say that these core strategic objectives are nearing completion.
U.S. President Donald Trump giving an update on the Iran war during a primetime address to the nation last night. Trump says U.S. forces will hit Iran very hard over the next 2 to 3 weeks. He also suggested the war could wind down without a deal. In response, Iran's military is warning of crushing and destructive attacks.
Death of 1,000 cuts. Everywhere you go, everything is a few cents more.
We're already getting notifications of price increases, and in some cases, some of the distributors of products are tapping on surcharges, fuel surcharges.
And don't be surprised if your grocery bills start going up because of rising fuel costs impacting the supply chain. The Canadian Federation of Independent Grocers says shoppers should brace for higher prices. And maybe you've already seen a spike as some retailers admit they just can't absorb the rising costs. Experts say just how much of the shipping costs will be passed on to shoppers depends on what's being shipped. They also expect prices to remain inflated months after a potential end to the war. And people buying Easter chocolate may notice prices are high, even though cocoa prices are down. The cost for some chocolate is up about 15%, while cocoa has fallen more than 60% since last year. But analysts say that demand is high this time of year. Also, products on the shelves now were made months ago, and prices don't reflect costs right now.
3, 2, 1. Booster ignition. And liftoff.
Integrity, good roll pitch. Roger, roll pitch.
Well, the Artemis spacecraft is orbiting the Earth right now after yesterday's historic launch from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. 4 astronauts are on their way to the moon, and that includes Canadian mission specialist Jeremy Hansen.
Here's a look through your Skywatch weather camera, brought to you by Action Furnace. Fixed right or it's free. Yeah, anybody who's just wanting the spring flowers, they're going to have to wait a little bit. We have another wet winter system moving through the city today and really throughout parts of south central Alberta. They're going to drive our temperatures down and also create some pretty hazardous driving conditions, both in the city and outside of it. Looks like we're faring okay right now in Calgary, but a lot of areas are under a special weather statement currently, and that'll likely last throughout the morning hours here. Visibility not great in Calgary right now, little over a kilometer and a half for drivers this morning. And the more south you go, it is also looking a little dicey throughout the day too, especially that Lethbridge area as they prepare to get more precipitation this afternoon, where they'll get to a high of 1 degree. That's the current condition right now is 1 degree. We're sitting at -2, +2 in Medicine Hat, but really these temperatures don't move much throughout the day. We're aiming again for a high of just 0. Lethbridge might get slightly into the positives, but many areas with this special weather state statement, just hovering around that freezing mark, creating those slick driving conditions. And there you can see on our radar here, there's the precipitation in Lethbridge right now, quickly transitioning to snow as it moves closer to the Calgary area. All part of this big inverted trough in the States right now, circulating all that precipitation. But if you think it's bad over here, just look at what's happening to the east of us. They have a Colorado low that's bringing a lot of precipitation throughout many parts of the Great Plains there, and then up into parts of the Great Lakes region into Ontario. Back here in Alberta, this is what we're dealing with for today. So looks like our peak amounts of snowfall in Calgary will be throughout the morning here. Banff not getting as much with this system today, but like I mentioned, Lethbridge throughout the early afternoon, we'll get more of that rain-snow mix in that area. So travel plans could be impacted today. Plan accordingly. Consult with Alberta 511. But after we get through today, we get back closer to those seasonal temperatures with a positive high of 7 for Good Friday.
Calgary's #1 hit music station. 98.5 Virgin Radio.
All right, now time to check in with Tyler, Danae, and Fuzzy as we head into the Easter weekend, which, I mean, lots of us are going to be eating some chocolate, am I right?
Oh, yes, yes. Well, we hope, as long as the Easter Bunny doesn't run out, Gina.
Yes, true.
So the scenario we want you to hop in the boat and row with us about this morning, Gina, is the Easter Bunny is all out of chocolate.
Oh, no.
What do you want instead, knowing this magical rabbit can make anything happen?
Anything?
Oh, yeah.
Anything.
Sky's the limit, Gina.
Well, I think I might ask for some cash money. I mean, I'm not too picky when it comes to that. What about you guys?
Cash is king, isn't it?
Oh, love that. What is it for you, Tyler?
You know what I'm thinking, Gina? It also kind of goes with money, because right now we all feel depressed when we drive by gas stations in Calgary. So if the Easter Bunny can just leave a note saying, hey, I did you a solid, filled up your tank, it's all good, it's on me.
Oh, that's so
Signed
cute.
EB with a heart.
That's a whole lot better than eggs filled with gasoline.
Yes.
I think that might be a little hazardous.
Yes.
For me, I would say beef, like a nice prime rib, something like that.
Wow.
Meat is so expensive at the grocery stores right now. So yeah some beef would be fantastic.
Nice. And I'm going to ask the Easter Bunny, I would just love time, like more time. Like, I don't know how you're going to make it happen. 24 hours in a day, not enough. If you can, like, somehow, Easter Bunny is magical. He can do anything. Add, like, 2 or 3, maybe 4 hours onto a day. Totally in on that.
Or if the Easter Bunny slows everything down around the day and everything's in slow motion.
That would also help. I would like that, too.
Those are way more creative than mine. But
no, Gina, money is the correct answer.
It's the money bunny. How about that?
Hey!
Easter Bunny, money bunny.
Yeah.
I'll buy you a steak and some gas today. I'll try to figure out the time thing.
All right, sure.
It's in the spice aisle.
There you go. There you go. Have a great Easter long weekend, all of you.
You
Bye,
too.
Gina.
Take care.
Take care.
Calgary's #1 hit music station.
98.5
Virgin Radio.
This morning, I'm at Golden Acre Home and Garden, where many people are itching to get seeds in the ground, Colin. But as we saw with the weather forecast this week, there are certain seeds that not quite ready to be outside, but you've got a whole variety here.
Yeah, we do. It's that season. It's that time of year where it is too early to be planting. It is too early to really be in the mix of the garden. But it's perfect time to start planning and getting inspired. And maybe you didn't have time to start your seeds, or maybe you did. But now we can start looking at the type of seeds that you can direct sow. So you don't need to start them indoors. You don't need to buy them pre-grown. You buy a handy-dandy pack of seeds and you stick it straight in your soil.
What would be some good flowers right now to plant right in the ground?
So right now, what you want to do is you want to look for the ones that are cold tolerable. So some of the ones I've got here are sweet peas, always a favorite. Everybody loves them. Cornflower, not my favorite because they're very kind of rough, but they look stunning. And calendula, which is one of my favorites. And these will absolutely get to the right height. They'll put out flowers. They'll do everything from being started. It might be a little early, but you know, this is the month. April is the month when we can start thinking about our direct sow.
And we also can plant some vegetable seeds right now, too. What would you suggest?
So the veggies, any of your leafy greens are normally safe. Your spinach, your kale, your arugula. And look at your root vegetables. Carrots, radishes, beets, they are always good to start. Again, make sure the soil is workable. Make sure that we're not, going to get really heavy frosts. And get out there and get sowing.
Last bit of time here. What's great about here in the store is you have this handy dandy chart that can show you exactly what seeds to plant and when.
Yeah, so this comes from West Coast Seeds, and I'm not going to try and break the legend down. It's quite in depth. But when you look, this tells you what you should start, what can go outdoors, what needs to be covered. This is a free catalog to pick up. We also have a big one in store. Take photos, have a look around. And I think we've got a copy up on the website too. So lots of information.
For sure. And coming up, we're going to talk more about soil and getting that fresh and ready for those seeds. Stay with us. If you want more information right now, head on over to goldenacre.ca.
Let's Get Gardening, presented by Golden Acre. Expert advice to help you grow.
Dave Popowich, portfolio manager with the Popowich Carmeli Advisor Group, is back. Dave, let's start by talking about those oil prices. They are soaring this morning.
Yeah, good morning, Jackie. Unfortunately, you're right. So the net effect of President Trump's message last night, at least to the oil market, was this: we're going to see an escalation in the military conflict in the Middle East versus a de-escalation. And to your point, that's got WTI prices up over 11% this morning. Now, in the trading environment that we're in, we know that there's an inverse relationship. So if oil prices are rallying higher, we know that that is putting pressure on risk assets. And so we see a futures market that's pointing to a decidedly lower market this morning, or a lower open. Now, what'll be interesting, Jackie, I think throughout the day, the trading day, unless President Trump intended for the message to be that, oil prices to go higher, inflation expectations to move higher, risk assets like stocks to fall, then we could see some further communication either throughout the course of the day, trying to adjust that message, or perhaps over the next couple of days. So it's going to be a decidedly weaker open this morning, but I think it will be an interesting trading day.
Okay, and then OPEC is meeting on Sunday. So what can investors expect?
Well, I think they can likely expect that OPEC will signal that they can increase their output, their supply. The question is, what can that do in the short term? And I don't think that there's much that OPEC can do in the short term for supply, but what they can do is, by signaling they are ready to increase supply, is once this conflict starts to dissipate and the Strait of Hormuz opens, that they stand ready to produce barrels that that the world economy is going to need as we recover from the conflict.
All right, Dave Popowich, portfolio manager with the Popowich Carmeli Advisor Group. Thank you. It's Thursday, April 2nd. Energy prices rising after U.S. President Trump's address to the nation. Mason will have the latest in a moment.
Our armed forces have been extraordinary. There's never been anything like it militarily. Everyone is talking about it.
Trump says the U.S. will hit Iran hard over the next few weeks, Iran vowing to retaliate.
3, 2, 1, booster ignition, and liftoff.
The latest on the Artemis mission on its 10-day journey around the moon. Good morning. Happy snowy Thursday. Gina, I've wanted it to be spring since March 1st. The harder I wish for it, the snowier it gets.
The manifestation
so
isn't working.
I'm going opposite. Love the snow.
Yes.
It's so nice out.
You know what? If you like skiing,
yeah,
you're thrilled with this
there
forecast. But it is messy and a little hazardous on the roads out there, especially as we head into a long weekend. We're close to the freezing mark here in the city, -1 in Corner Brook right now. Your school day forecast brought to you by the Alberta Teachers Association, showing -2s a lot around the city, and all the quadrants basically sitting at that right now, feeling like -8. with the falling snow currently. Winds picking up this afternoon from the north at 20 to 40 kilometers an hour. So that doesn't help us out, Jackie, when it comes to temperatures. So just a high of 0 for later today.
Okay, thanks, Gina. Well, let's take a quick look at traffic. So starting at 9 a.m. and wrapping up tomorrow at 3 in the afternoon, there will be two-way traffic on the south side of Memorial Drive. That's between 68th Street and Abbeydale Drive in the northeast, and that's for utility work. As well, some incidents could hamper your commute this morning. That includes a single vehicle incident on southbound Stony Trail. It's approaching Nose Hill Drive in the northwest. It is blocking the right shoulder right now. And here is a live look at eastbound 130th Avenue. This is east of 52nd Street. There's an incident there as well. It's blocking the eastbound left lane, and it is slowing drivers down in that area. Oil prices are back in focus, and so are prices at the pump after Donald Trump's address and escalating global tensions. Markets are reacting, and Mason Despatie is tracking all of this for us this morning. So, Mason, just how quickly is this going to hit drivers here in Calgary?
Well, Jackie, gas prices can take a couple of days to adjust to these wild price swings we're seeing. At the station behind me, it's $1.77 a liter this morning. But according to Gas Buddy, across the city, it's averaging $1.65 right now. The important figure to really keep a close eye on right now is WTI crude. That, of course, the baseline for what refineries pay here and ultimately what drivers pay at the pump. Right now, it's being pushed by global uncertainty. It keeps climbing up about 11% to more than $111 a barrel right now. That spike partially followed Donald Trump's address yesterday, where the U.S. president said objectives in Iran are nearly complete, but still threatened to escalate the conflict. Those tensions linked to the war are raising concerns about continued supply disruptions in the Middle East. And that matters because even the threat of disruption pushes prices higher, and those costs don't stop at the pump. The Canadian Federation of Independent Grocers says higher fuel prices are already working their way into the supply chain.
We're already getting notifications of price increases, and in some cases, some of the distributors of products are tapping on surcharges, fuel surcharges, onto their deliveries.
So, Jackie, with more volatility happening in the oil markets, to sum things up, people should expect more wild price swings for the next foreseeable future.
Okay, thank you for the update, Mason. Well, there is a new battle that's brewing in the trade war between Canada and the U.S. American officials published a list of trade irritants with our country, and they pointed to the Buy Canadian policy as a thorny issue. Mike LeCouture has more.
The country's iconic symbol of democracy will soon be protected by Canadian steel. During the next phase of renovations, the Peace Tower will be encased by steel scaffolding from Hamilton-based Walters Inc. But it may not have happened if not for the Buy Canadian provision.
It would have been more difficult, and the chances are that much of the material, at least the raw material, would have come from the United States as opposed to from Canada.
As of December of last year, the government mandated that publicly funded infrastructure projects should prioritize Canadian workers and industries. Even though the U.S. has a similar provision, the American Trade Representative cited Canada's version as a trade irritant. The Minister for Canada-U.S. Trade downplayed the list of irritants, saying talks are continuing.
There was a high-level meeting this week in Washington between senior officials from Canada and the United States to discuss these and other issues. So none of this is surprising to us.
The removal of American liquor off many provincial store shelves is also on the list of irritants, as is Canada's Online Streaming Act and the Supply Management System, which restricts the import of American dairy, poultry, and eggs into this country. Meantime, Mexico is seemingly further ahead in trade negotiations with the U.S., engaging in technical discussions with the Americans.
I think the Canadian government is stalling for time. They think that Trump, my guess is they think Trump is weak. They want to sort of see if they can get this deferred into the midterms.
Minister LeBlanc says he'll continue to speak regularly with his American counterparts about the CUSMA review, even as the deadline to decide the deal's fate is just 3 months away. Mike LeCouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
Calgary police are still looking for the person responsible for a fatal attack in Ogden last week. Police were called to a house on Crestwood Road last Thursday. A man was rushed to hospital but later died from his injuries. He had been identified as 28-year-old Dorthor Metkerchok. Police are still looking for the suspect. And Calgary police have made an arrest as part of an investigation into a series of extortion attempts that have been targeting the city's South Asian community. On March 4th, a home on Martindale Boulevard in the Northeast was shot at multiple times. Police say 2 daycares outside the city were also vandalized and the staff were threatened. 45-year-old Rana Chima has been charged with extortion and uttering threats. Police allege that Chima was trying to acquire large sums of money and to control businesses in that community.
This is just the start of our enforcement work. Our investigators are continuing to work diligently to fully understand the scope, identify additional suspects, and disrupt these groups.
Since January of last year, there have been 41 extortion attempts in Calgary. 18 of those involved shootings. Anyone with information is asked to contact police or Crime Stoppers. Calgary's supply of housing varies depending on property type. The Calgary Real Estate Board says that supply remained above the 10-year average for both row and apartment-style units and well below trend for detached homes. Housing sales were just shy of 1,900 in March, and that's just a slight jump year over year, but it is down 13% on average for the month. Benchmark for a detached home is $741,000 and $300,000 for a condo in the city. Well, Easter is right around the corner, but there is a very good chance prices are taking a bigger bite out of your holiday budget, even when it comes to chocolate. Scott Hurst explains.
Chocolate prices are up compared to this time last year in the range of roughly 15% on average for certain items. Over the past month, cocoa prices have risen about 8%, but they're actually down significantly, some 60% over the past year. Prices reached record highs in 2024, and in the wake of that, prices for chocolate increased. So why is the price you pay now for chocolate products still so elevated? Industry analysts say a lot has to do with timing. The Easter chocolate in stores now was produced months ago, and that inventory is still priced to cover those higher costs. Now, small producers say they're doing everything they can to not cut corners on quality.
I'm seeing the costs go up, but I'm also seeing more filler ingredients go into the products, palm oil, just more sugar, and less cocoa butter, and you really taste it in the quality of the chocolate. So that's something we've tried to avoid here. You know, every day I make a decision, do I continue to use the top quality product? And for me, the answer is yes, absolutely.
According to experts, the cocoa prices you see today and the amount they've dropped may not be reflected in the store price for chocolate for up to a year. Scott Hurst, CTV News, Toronto.
Well, marking Good Friday, thousands of people will take part in the outdoor Way of the Cross walk tomorrow morning. The devotional walk offers a chance to reflect on the passion of Jesus through scripture, prayer, and contemplative singing and the traditional stations of the cross. It does start at 8:30 a.m. at St. Mary's Cathedral. That's on 18th Avenue in the Southwest. And then at noon, liturgies start at the cathedral. You can learn more at catholicyyc.ca. And of course, it being the Easter long weekend ahead, let's check in with Gina and the weather, because if people are out driving, visiting family and such, it's quite dangerous out there.
Yeah, I mean, look at it outside right now. If you're frustrated with wanting to finally get into more spring-like weather, you're not liking this shot here. It looks very much like winter. We've had enough snow fall now that the ground is cool enough to start building accumulations. On the roads, it's a little slippery out there with the temperature right now at -2, and we have some northeasterly winds currently. So a very chilly Thursday morning as many people prepare for their long weekend plans. Travel could be impacted today outside of the city on the Trans-Canada Highway 2 South, the QE2 north of us, all really under, at least parts of those roads, under special weather statements right now. In the city, we're seeing -2 a lot when it comes to temperature, including over in Corner Brook. Last chance to own a home that backs onto a park in Corner Brook by West Creek. Outside the city, you can see Brooks, Medicine Hat, snow falling right now, and temperatures really everywhere around the freezing mark. Milk River really messy with that rain-snow mix. Lethbridge, that could be your story a little later today too, with that high of 2 degrees. And you're getting a bulk of this precipitation heading your way. It's passing through Lethbridge first and then making its way up to Calgary. So a wet mix today throughout south central Alberta. Here's a look at that special weather statement I was telling you about. Medicine Hat involved much of Trans-Canada to the east of us and parts of Highway 2, both north and south of the city as well. Here's a look at what we're dealing with here when it comes to the radar satellite. So rain from the states transitioning into snow as it makes its way up to Calgary. And here's that inverted trough that's really funneling in all this precipitation. Doesn't hang around for long, though. We get this nice ridge of high pressure building in starting on Good Friday and lasting really throughout the weekend. But we will get some cloudier conditions moving in by Sunday there, and that could produce some precipitation in the form of flurries to wrap up the weekend. Nothing's really wanting to cooperate this morning on the screen there, but that was supposed to show you snowfall amounts between 3 to 5 centimeters here in the city. By the time, like I mentioned, we get into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, back into some positive temperatures closer to seasonal. Your cheapest gas brought to you by Country Hills Toyota, home of free winter tires, and $5,000 off new electric BZ and Tacomas, your Toyota Giant. Prices aren't great this morning heading into the long weekend, but you can find fuel as low as $163.9 a litre at the Petro-Canada on 4th Street in the Southwest. And now it's time for our milestone segment, and we're going to kick things off with a very happy birthday, Sis Sheila. All the best with love from Tom and Fev. A happy 9th birthday, Emma, from Mom, Dad, Sophia, Eric, and Sarah. Now on to our Friday birthdays. A happy 10th birthday, Paige. Double digits. Love Mom, Dad, Jackson, and all your family. And some Sunday birthdays as well. Happy birthday to Jake on Sunday. An amazing son, brother, and uncle. Love from your family. Also on Sunday, a happy 8th birthday to Bellamy. Love from Mom, Dad, Bronson, Grandma, and Grandpa. If someone you know will be celebrating a milestone, a birthday, graduation, anniversary, whatever it may be, send us a photo at least 2 days in advance and tell us who we are honoring and why at Calgary Milestones at ctv.ca or scan the QR code on your screen.
Here are the 5 things you need to know for today.
We could be looking at vessels, demining expertise, intelligence, cyber capabilities as being items that Canada will contribute.
35 countries, including Canada, are set to meet virtually today to look at ways to reopening the Strait of Hormuz. Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand said that Canada would not hesitate to help secure the strait once there is a ceasefire. The U.S. will not be there.
Our armed forces have been extraordinary. There's never been anything like it militarily. Everyone is talking about it, and tonight I'm pleased to say that these core strategic objectives are nearing completion.
U.S. President Donald Trump giving an update on the Iran war during a primetime address to the nation last night. Trump says U.S. forces will hit Iran very hard over the next 2 to 3 weeks. He also suggested the war could wind down without a deal. In response, Iran's military is warning of crushing and destructive attacks.
Death of 1,000 cuts. You know, everywhere you go, everything is a few cents more.
We're already getting notifications of price increases, and in some cases, some of the distributors of products are tapping on surcharges, fuel surcharges.
And don't be surprised if your grocery bills start going up because of rising fuel costs impacting the supply chain. The Canadian Federation of Independent Grocers says shoppers should brace for higher prices. And maybe you've already seen a spike as some retailers admit they just can't absorb the rising costs. Experts say just how much of the shipping costs will be passed on to shoppers depends on what's being shipped. They also expect prices to remain inflated months after a potential end to the war. And people buying Easter chocolate may notice prices are high, even though cocoa prices are down. The cost for some chocolate is up about 15%, while cocoa has fallen more than 60% since last year. But analysts say that demand is high this time of year. Also, products on the shelves now were made months ago, and prices don't reflect costs right now.
3, 2, 1. Booster ignition. And lift off.
Integrity. Good roll pitch. Roger. Roll pitch.
Well, the Artemis spacecraft is orbiting the Earth right now after yesterday's historic launch from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. 4 astronauts are on their way to the moon, and that includes Canadian mission specialist Jeremy Hansen. Calgary Police submitting its annual report to Council, highlighting some of the bigger concerns that are emerging in our city. And Calgary Police Chief Katie McClellan joins us this morning. Let's start with violent crimes and how they've kind of stood out in that report.
Yeah, super concerning, Jackie. Thanks for the opportunity to be here this morning. We've seen that increase most over the last couple of years, but particularly last year. And some of it, unfortunately, is involving youth. Weapons that are used are something like an edge weapon, but attacks on strangers and people who are not connected to these individuals is deeply concerning.
Let's talk about some of the budget concerns that you've been highlighting. Can they be tied at all, or how much does this all work together?
Well, when we have more police officers, we're able to increase our visibility and mitigate some of these occurrences that happen. And so we are coming forward with a big budget ask. The number's been thrown around 660. That is really, truly the only amount of people that we can hire given our capacity, given our infrastructure, given our ability to recruit and train. So do we need more? We absolutely need more, but we're being pragmatic and we're being practical, looking at many things to get to that number.
Another story we've been talking about in the news this morning, there have been some arrests made in extortion cases. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, for sure. Another deeply concerning trend that's happening in this city. So since last year, we've had 41 South Asian extortions. We've had 18 shootings. You would have seen yesterday that we did lay some charges. Deeply, deeply concerning for the people impacted. Very frightening, very scaring for the families involved in this. We are connected provincially. We're connected nationally, we're connected internationally. We've got good intelligence. We've got a lot of resources redeployed to assist with all of these efforts. But this is one of our #1 priorities right now.
Okay. And I know you've been extended through mid-2028. So what are kind of those high-impact files that you'd like to focus on in the years ahead?
Yeah, super humbled, grateful, just really appreciative for the support that the Commission has in me, as well as the membership. I wouldn't have been able to be here or do this without the tons of support from my team, from lots of other people in and outside of the service, including my family. We've started a lot of things this year and we'll continue to focus on those going forward next year. And a lot of those include some of the things that we've just talked about, traffic safety, social disorder, member wellness. Really, we're looking at community safety, public trust, and operational excellence. How do we get better? How do we be more efficient? And how do we deliver the best service for the city?
Okay, that is all the time we have. Chief Katie McClellan, thank you.
Thanks so much, Jackie. Have a great day.
Yeah, this is what it looks like outside right now through our Skywatch weather camera, brought to you by Action Furnace. Fixed right or it's free. Not looking very spring out there, feeling more like winter today, but temperatures are actually quite mild. But that actually makes things worse when it comes to the road conditions. So with the high today being just 0, that can make conditions pretty slick on the roads. We're seeing a lot of special weather statements in Calgary and the surrounding area right now. And our average high for this time of year is usually 9 degrees. We're going to get back towards temperatures close to that value by the time tomorrow comes around. But we just have to get through this blast of winter-like weather first. Visibility keeps getting reduced here in the city. Last hour when I checked in, we had about a 1.5 of visibility. Now we're below 1 kilometer of visibility in the city. Other areas not looking too bad right now. West of Lethbridge, though, along the Crow's Nest Pass there, looks like you could be dealing with some poor driving conditions. Consult with Alberta 511 this morning if you do have some long weekend travel plans and you're planning to head out the door today. The morning hours are looking to be the snowiest here in Calgary, and again, areas to the east and parts of the west as well. This system is moving in a south to north direction, impacting mostly Medicine Hat right now, but clipping Lethbridge and then transitioning from rain to snow the more northwards it goes into Calgary. So again, for us here in the city, we're expecting most of the heaviest snow to fall this morning. But Lethbridge is looking more like an early afternoon snow event for you. It's all being pushed in by this low pressure system that's tracking into the States and then again curling up towards Alberta. If that's bad, though, it's much worse the more east we go here. Big Colorado low, bringing a lot of precipitation through the Great Plains into the Great Lakes regions for areas to the east of us. So this is a look at our chart here. We're in red here in Calgary, so should start to taper off as we get into the early afternoon, but that's right when it picks up for the Lethbridge area. So if you have travel plans south, maybe just plan accordingly today and take it slow out there. But by the time we get into tomorrow, back into some nice positive temperatures for your high. Your morning view is brought to you by Lux Windows and Doors, crafting quality windows and doors for your style, budget, and Alberta's climate. Great picture texted to us by Lois, and you can do the same by just texting us at 10400.
Gina, all this snow kind of can get me in a sad mood.
That's
but
fair.
You know what always makes me feel better?
What's that?
Cute animal videos.
Of course.
Let's check it out.
Gentle. Gentle.
Oh, just maybe the gentlest.
Gentle.
Also, can we talk about the handkerchief
So much
and leash combo?
Yes.
So Winnie, small but mighty, will take off a finger if she really.
Finally.
I love that. What do Olive and Perry do for treats?
You know what? Like, this whole video reminds me. Have you heard the term like rage baiting?
Yes.
I feel like the owner here is trying to rage bait the dog, but the dog's rage baiting me here. I'm like, just eat the treat.
Just eat the treat. You're more delicate than me.
No restraint when it comes to Olive and Perry. These cats,
no, they go for it.
They demand it. I always say they've trained me when to give them to treats and just how they like it.
Winnie will do that. She'll just stare at me and do her little stompers, and I know
you're like,
it's time for more food.
Yep, time for the cheese tax.
Anything you want here, have a filet mignon.
Yeah, exactly. Twist my arm.
Yeah. If you have any videos you would like to submit for a sidebar, you can email them to us, of course, yourmorningcalgary@ctv.ca or text 10400. It's Thursday, April 2nd. Energy prices rising after U.S. President Trump's address to the nation. Mason will have the latest in a moment.
Our armed forces have been extraordinary. There's never been anything like it militarily. Everyone is talking about it.
Trump says the U.S. will hit Iran hard over the next few weeks, Iran vowing to retaliate.
3, 2, 1. Booster ignition. And liftoff.
The latest on the Artemis mission on its 10-day journey around the moon. Good morning. Happy Thursday. Just one day left until you're on the long weekend. And I know it is Easter, but it looks like Christmas, Gina. What is happening out there?
I know. When we look at this shot outside right now, it is, like you said, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Not that we want it to, but this is where we're at right now. We're at -2 out there. Snow is falling, and the heaviest snow will be falling in the Calgary area throughout the morning. Starts to taper off, lighten up a little bit this afternoon. But Jackie, the winds will be strong out of the north, up to 40 kilometers an hour. So only getting to a high of 0 for today.
Okay, thanks, Gina. Let's take a look at traffic. Transit signal work that starts tonight at 9 o'clock and ends on Sunday at 10 p.m. p.m. There will be a 24-hour westbound lane closure on Crowchild Trail Northwest, and that's approaching 40th Avenue. And then there's also a full eastbound left lane closure on Crowchild Trail Northwest. That's at 53rd Street. And there are several traffic incidents as well, which could hamper your commute. Here's a live look at 16th Ave and Stony Trail in the northeast, where you can see very slow going traffic there. Oil prices are back in focus, and so are prices at the pump after Donald Trump's address and escalating global tensions. Markets are reacting this morning. Mason Daypact is tracking all this for us. So, Mason, how quickly could that be hitting drivers here in Calgary?
Well, Jackie, those oil markets react instantly. Well, at the pump, it can take a few days for price swings to adjust. Now, Gas Buddy has the price of gas averaging across the city at $1.66 right now. But the station behind me and a lot in this region, it's $1.77. The key figure to watch, though, is WTI crude. It sets the baseline for what refineries pay and ultimately what drivers pay at the pump. Right now, it's being pushed by the global uncertainty, jumping 11% to more than $111 a barrel. That spike partially followed Donald Trump's address yesterday, where the U.S. president said objectives in Iran are nearly complete, but still threatened to escalate the conflict. Now, those tensions linked to the war are raising concerns about continued supply disruptions in the Middle East. That matters because even the threat of disruption pushes prices higher, and those costs don't just stop at the pump. The Canadian Federation of Independent Grocers says higher fuel prices are already working their way into the supply chain.
They're already getting notifications of price increases, and in some cases, some of the distributors of products are tapping on surcharges, fuel surcharges, onto their deliveries.
And Jackie, this impact really depends on what's being shipped. If it's higher value products like electronics, a few $100s in gas doesn't change it much. But if it's groceries and produce, well, then consumers will be paying more for that.
Very interesting. Okay, thanks, Mason. Well, if everything holds, Calgary's water restrictions, they could lift today. Crews have turned on the pumps, and the Bears Paw South feeder main is now in operation. They're keeping a close eye to make sure that the pipe and water system does remain stable. Water restrictions began in Calgary and surrounding areas last month for repairs to the aging feeder main, and as we remember, saw two catastrophic breaks. Well, the snowpack in Banff National Park is more than 2 meters deep in places, and experts say that's well above average, and that is good news for soil moisture and to keep our water reservoirs full. Kevin Fleming reports.
She typically spends her workdays in Edmonton going over data related to snow accumulations all over the province. But now Natalie Brunet is on a field trip of sorts.
Today's special treat. So usually we're in the office looking at weather models, looking at all of this data that the field techs are collecting. But today I get to come out and put not quite faces to names, but the equivalent for snow surveys.
Brunet is working alongside of Meg Guan in Banff National Park.
So this information is really valuable with the snow surveys that we do. We put it into the water supply outlook that I usually do from my desk, and that has kind of basin-wide for the season, how much water volume do we expect to run off into the rivers.
The new data is compared to historic recordings, so the province knows if the current snowpack is above or below average. Many of the survey sites are only accessible by helicopter because of their remote locations within the national park. Guan uses simple tools to collect her information.
The snow tube goes in the snow, grab the tube, and the scale is weighted to density of water. And by knowing the snow depth and the weight of this core snow, you can figure out the water equivalent.
Brunet says there are many stakeholders downstream who rely on river and reservoir forecasting, and she says the numbers show that reservoirs are in good shape for the start of the season.
Lots of snow in the mountains does not equal lots of flooding downstream necessarily. So really what drives the big floods in the major cities is the big rain events. But the rate at which the snow melts is not fast enough to cause flooding on a wide scale.
Survey technicians say that the season started with a number of large snow events, and that snow remained throughout the season, with new snow added to it, increasing the snowpack. Now it's finding that many areas are well above average, and in some cases, they're 2 times the normal average. Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Banff National Park.
Calgary police are investigating after a sudden closure of a wedding hall, leaving several couples without a venue or their deposits. Alicia Fieldberg reports.
Nia Neem and her fiancé paid a deposit for a banquet hall more than a year before their wedding. Now, 4 months ahead of the big day, they're left scrambling.
We still don't have a reception venue. This is so stressful.
They chose White Diamond Conference Center because they had recently attended other events there. In July 2025, they said they met with Adam Askar, the man operating the venue, and paid the deposit.
$3,000 in cash and then $3,000 in e-transfer. Like Adam Askar wanted the e-transfer into a personal account. That should have been a red flag. We were like, whatever. We have been to this event multiple times, so whatever, we trust him.
On February 1st, the couple went online to verify the address before printing out their invitations.
We looked on Google reviews and it turns out the place is permanently closed and we were like, what?
At the venue, doors are locked, signs are up about the closure, and contact information is scratched out. Neem says they contacted Askar and Ravi Bahal, who owns White Diamond Conference Center, but were told they were not getting their deposit back. The couple said instead, Askar asked for more money to sign a new contract to provide food for their wedding at a venue they secure themselves.
He had the audacity to be like, can I have more money so I can do your wedding? And we're like, no, are you insane right now? We want the refund.
In a statement to CTV, the business's board of directors says it is aware of developments that have created uncertainty for those who have scheduled events at the White Diamond Conference Center and is working with qualified advisors to assess the situation and determine appropriate steps. Calgary Police Service is investigating 3 separate fraud-related reports associated with White Diamond made between January and February. The reports are associated to deposits being made to the business not being refunded following its closure. No charges have been laid. Neem said she and her fiancé are among those who contacted police, and they're still trying to find a reception venue for the August long weekend wedding.
If you already paid for this venue, it's no longer operating, so you better start looking.
Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Calgary.
Neem said that they've actually sent out the save the dates for August 1st to about 100 guests, but since they are now missing $6,000 from their budget, they might have to proceed with a smaller wedding. Calgary condo owners can now turn to a condominium dispute resolution tribunal to resolve disagreements. The province says that 1 in 5 Albertans that live in condos, and that the new tribunal is a major step in strengthening consumer protections and improving governance. The tribunal will operate on a self-funded model paid for by the condo community. Fees for users range between $150 to $300. Well, engineering students at the U of C are showing off their capstone projects. More than 150 projects are on public display at the Engineering Design Fair. They focus on a wide range of disciplines, from wildfire management to medical care. The fair has 4-year students putting their skills into practice to design products to benefit the public industries. One project took inspiration from a student's relative who was injured on the job to create a system to protect workers.
We utilized her robot to be able to map positional coordinates and send them off to the robot itself. And so this essentially takes the place of a worker in a hazardous environment.
Well, a panel of judges selects winners in 8 categories. Last year's winner included advances in electric vehicle battery recycling and a monitoring system for children on life support. Wow. Very intelligent youth. I love that. Stay with us. Gina has a look at our 5-day forecast coming up.
CTV Ski Report, brought to you by Sunshine Village, home of Canada's best snow and hottest lifts.
Oh, this is the view on top of South Point Toyota, Calgary's #1 volume Toyota dealer. We're seeing the flakes hit the screen there and start to melt. So a good indication of the visibility situation in Calgary right now. It's impacting our cameras, but it's also impacting you out on the roads. Visibility is quite reduced in the city right now, less than a kilometer of visibility. Outside of the city, not as bad, but the conditions just are not great, with the temperatures temperatures we're dealing with right now and the precipitation falling. We're at -2 at the airport with snow this hour. Seems like most of the city is probably dealing with some variation of snow right now, either heavy amounts or a little bit lighter, but it's looking to be the morning hours where we're seeing the most snowfall down. Lethbridge will see a bulk of their snowfall later this afternoon. -2 downtown, same in Corner Brook. You can afford a home in Corner Brook by West Creek, but you can't afford to wait. Outside of Calgary, it's 1 degree currently in Lethbridge. Same in Medicine Hat, where some precipitation is falling in the form of snow, but many areas throughout the day not really seeing much movement when it comes to temperature, so we're all kind of hovering around 0. So with the precipitation, a lot of it can melt when it hits the surface and then refreeze, and that can make things very slippery out there, in addition to reduced visibility. So a weather statement in effect for much of south central Alberta currently. Lethbridge not involved, but I would still proceed with caution in that area, because later today you can see a lot of this rain from the system transitions to snow as it progresses from the south to the north. A very brief blast of winter weather with this inverted trough. It'll move out as we get into Good Friday. Saturday and Sunday, a nice ridge starts to develop. So temperatures will get closer to seasonal, but we'll still see some building cloud by Sunday and Monday, which could result in some flurries by the end of the weekend there. But again, nice improvement when it comes to temperatures after today.
Here are the 5 things you need to know for today.
We could be looking at vessels, demining expertise, intelligence, cyber capabilities as being items that Canada will contribute.
35 countries, including Canada, are set to meet virtually today to look at ways to reopening the Strait of Hormuz. Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand said that Canada would not hesitate to help secure the strait once there is a ceasefire. The U.S. will not be there.
Our armed forces have been extraordinary. There's never been anything like it militarily. Everyone is talking about it, and tonight I'm pleased to say that these core strategic objectives are nearing completion.
U.S. President Donald Trump giving an update on the Iran war during a primetime address to the nation last night. Trump says U.S. forces will hit Iran very hard over the next 2 to 3 weeks. He also suggested the war could wind down without a deal. In response, Iran's military is warning of crushing and destructive attacks.
Death of 1,000 cuts. Everywhere you go, everything is a few cents more.
We're already getting notifications of price increases, and in some cases, some of the distributors of products are tapping on surcharges, fuel surcharges.
And don't be surprised if your grocery bills start going up because of rising fuel costs impacting the supply chain. The Canadian Federation of Independent Grocers says shoppers should brace for higher prices. And maybe you've already seen a spike as some retailers admit they just can't absorb the rising costs. Experts say just how much of the shipping costs will be passed on to shoppers depends on what's being shipped. They also expect prices to remain inflated months after a potential end to the war. And people buying Easter chocolate may notice prices are high, even though cocoa prices are down. The cost for some chocolate is up about 15%, while cocoa has fallen more than 60% since last year. But analysts say that demand is high this time of year. Also, products on the shelves now were made months ago, and prices don't reflect costs right now.
3, 2, 1. Booster ignition. And lift off.
Integrity, good roll pitch.
Roger, roll pitch.
Well, the Artemis spacecraft is orbiting the Earth right now after yesterday's historic launch from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. 4 astronauts are on their way to the moon, and that includes Canadian mission specialist Jeremy Hansen.
Hey there, Lindsay Hamilton inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Wednesday. We are going to Toronto for this one. It's the Jays and Rockies. Jordan Beck chops one off the mound. Ernie Clements there goes behind the back to Andres Jimenez for the force out. What a play from Clement. Improvises on the run. Jimenez just going to scoop that up. That's some real nice defense from the Jays and worthy of your must-see moment. Meanwhile, today on TSN, World Men's Curling Championship is Canada taking on Germany. Coverage beginning at 4 p.m. Eastern. That's all for now from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a terrific Thursday.
Well, this morning I'm at Golden Acre Home and Garden, and we've been focusing on preparation and inspiration for the garden. And Colin, we're in the soil section here, which is a great place for preparation.
It is. We talked about seeds earlier, and one of the things is making sure your soil is workable. Part of that is after a winter, your soil is tired, like I am in the mornings, right? And this is going to help wake it up. It's going to reinvigorate it, and it's really going to help your seeds grow, plus everything else you're going to plant throughout the season.
Walk me through some of the products you have here. This first one I hear has been a bestseller.
This one, and for a reason, this is Black Gold. One of the best composts, a Canadian company. It's 100% organic. This is one of our go-to recommended composts for a reason as gardeners. I love this stuff. This is cocoa peat, essentially crushed coconut shells. Does the same job as peat moss, so it's going to aerate your soil. It's going to bring a lot of life and fluffiness to your soil. 100% sustainable, great quality stuff. Volcanic dust.
Cool.
Easiest way to explain this is when you think of Hawaii, you think of the lush growth, and Hawaii is a volcanic island.
There you go.
Yep, so this is a great remineralizer. It's going to help. Carbon is one of those products, and it's one of those ones where a lot of people don't know what it does, but if you know, you know, as they say. This is amazing for bacterial culture and really invigorating all of those micronutrients in the soil. And last but no way least are our worm castings. And I love, everybody knows worms are good for the garden, and this is 100% earthworm castings. Works amazingly.
Did I hear you tell me earlier it's like a big bag of worm poop?
That's exactly what it is. I always like getting kids to feel this and ask them what it is, and they go, soil, earth, dirt. And I go, it's worm poop. And some of them love it, and others are dropping. But it's amazing stuff, and I use all of these products, and we've got these and so many more.
Again, great section here at Golden Acre Home and Garden. For preparation coming up, we're going to talk about inspiration, looking at some perennials. But if you want more information right now, head on over to goldenacre.ca.
Let's get gardening, presented by Golden Acre. Expert advice to help you grow.
Yeah, don't be doing any gardening today because as you can see outside right now through our Skywatch weather camera brought to you by Action Furnace, fixed right or it's free. Very snowy out there. Not a lot of plants will survive these harsh conditions for today. Start to see a little bit of gradual improvement by the time Friday comes around and getting closer to what's normal for this time of year, which is a high of 9 degrees. Again, we're getting close to that. We'll be in the seasonal range, but today we're hoping to get to a high of 0 if we're lucky enough. We have some northerly winds right now, and those will continue throughout the day, picking up to about 20 to 40 kilometers an hour. Visibility continues to be impacted in the city this morning. We're now down to less than half a kilometer of visibility in Calgary. It gets better the more outside of the city you go, but the conditions are still quite messy out there. This is a look at some of the roads throughout Calgary right now. A bit of lane definition still, which is good, but it just looks very slippery, and there's a lot of slow sections around the Deerfoot, Glenmore, and Stoney currently. Weather statements in effect for Calgary, obviously, and throughout the surrounding area. In fact, it looks like it's extended a bit more along the QE2 there past Red Deer now. Obviously, this is really important to keep in mind if you do have some long weekend travel plans. This morning, a lot of snow moving into Calgary right now. You can see it's impacting Medicine Hat. It'll impact Lethbridge later, and it's moving in this very big system here, counterclockwise direction. So a lot of precipitation curling into Alberta from the states will start to taper off as we get later into the afternoon, for parts of Alberta at least. And then this is going on to the east of us, Colorado low, creating this broad band of precipitation, transitioning into a rain-snow mix over the Great Lakes to the east of us. So just throwing that in there to show you it always can be worse. There's other parts of the country dealing with this unpleasant weather as well. So we'll start to see the snow taper off, like I mentioned, later today into the afternoon. Banff not getting too impacted by this setup, but Lethbridge, like I mentioned, you'll see more snow by the time the afternoon comes around. Just got to get through today. Then by the time Good Friday is here, more sunshine in the forecast and some nice positive temperatures.
Dave Popowich, portfolio manager with the Popowich Kamarali Advisory Group, is back, and markets were setting up for a lower open. We were chatting about before. So how are they trading in the first half hour?
Well, as expected, Jackie, good morning to you. They have opened lower, and that's on the fact that oil prices are soaring, and there's very much a linear relationship, an inverted linear relationship in this environment with oil prices and in risk assets, things like stocks. So we are seeing a lower open, but it's a long trading day, and we'll see where we end up.
Okay. And Alberta says it's sitting on $1 trillion with the T dollars worth of lithium. So what happens now?
Well, a good question. And this is interesting. Now, we've known that there's been lithium in the province for a long time. It's dissolved in brine in oil and gas fields. The problem has been that we haven't had the economics, or perhaps the economics and the technology to really tap this resource. Well, the Alberta Geological Survey last week came out with an official estimate from an economic perspective of 82.5 million tons of lithium in the province. Now, at today's prices, that puts it at about $1 trillion. Now, it's not that we can get all of that theoretical amount out of the ground, but boy, even a portion of that is a very significant value to Alberta and, quite frankly, to Canada. Now, there are companies that are working on this. Canadian companies have been working on how to extract that out of the brine since 2015. So we're getting closer to not just the economics working, but also the technology. Now we just have to make sure, as many oil and gas executives are calling for, that we have the regulations in Canada and in Alberta to allow us to really reap the rewards of what is a very high demand commodity in the world today.
Okay, very interesting. Dave Popowich, portfolio manager with the Popowich Kamarali Advisory Group. Thank you. Stay with us. We've got your top news headlines after the break. It's Thursday, April 2nd. Energy prices rising after U.S. President Trump's address to the nation. Mason will have the latest in a moment.
Our armed forces have been extraordinary. There's never been anything like it militarily. Everyone is talking about it.
Trump says the U.S. will hit Iran hard over the next few weeks, Iran vowing to retaliate.
3, 2, 1, booster ignition, and liftoff.
The latest on the Artemis mission on its 10-day journey around the moon. Good morning. Happy snowy Thursday. I hope you're having an okay start to your day. Make sure you leave early. It is yucky out there.
I know a lot of people probably have some travel plans this weekend. And if you're planning to get a head start, now's probably not the best time to head out on the roads. We're really starting to see the snow fall quite heavily in the city this hour. We're sitting at -1 in Corner Brook. Your school day forecast brought to you by the Alberta Teachers Association, showing many areas in the city at around -2 right now, including out at the airport. Wind chill making it feel like -8. Those winds later today, while the snow will ease up a little bit this afternoon, winds will pick up out of the north at 20 to 40 kilometers an hour. So, Jackie, we're only aiming for a high of 0.
Okay, thanks, Gina. And let's take a look at traffic starting at 9 a.m. and wrapping up tomorrow around 3 in the afternoon. There'll be two-way traffic on the south side of Memorial between 68th and Abbeydale Drive, and that's because of utility work. And of course, your commute could be very slow this morning as there are several incidents happening. Here's a live look at westbound Stony Trail at Beddington Trail Northwest. I mean, you can barely see it, but it is blocking the westbound on-ramp there. Oil prices are back in focus, and so are prices at the pump after Donald Trump's address and escalating global tensions. Markets are reacting this morning, as we've been hearing, and Mason Despatie is tracking this story for us. So, Mason, how quickly could it be hitting Calgary drivers?
Well, Jackie, those oil prices react instantly, whereas for gas, that can take a couple of days to adjust to the price swings. Gas Buddy has the average price of gas across the city as $1.66, but at the station I'm at and a few others in this area, it's $1.77 this morning. The key figure to watch, though, is the price of WTI crude. That's the benchmark baseline for what refineries pay and ultimately what drivers pay at the pump. Right now, it's being pushed by the global uncertainty, jumping about 12% to more than $112 a barrel right now. That spike partially followed Donald Trump's address yesterday, where the U.S. president said objectives in Iran are nearly complete, but still threaten to escalate the conflict. Those tensions linked to the war are now raising concerns about continued supply disruptions in the Middle East. And that matters because even the threat of disruptions can push prices higher, and those costs don't stop at the pump. The Canadian Federation of Independent Grocers says higher fuel prices are already working their way into the supply chain.
They're already getting notifications of price increases, and in some cases, some of the distributors of products are tapping on surcharges, fuel surcharges, onto their deliveries.
And Jackie, with the volatility in the oil markets continuing, both drivers and shoppers should be expecting some price swings for the future.
Okay, thank you for the update, Mason. Well, Calgary police have made an arrest as part of an investigation into a series of extortion attempts targeting the city's South Asian community. Tim Brooke reports.
Officers believe it started here on March 4th along Martindale Boulevard in the northeast. Shots were fired at this home and no arrests were made. Just weeks later, escalation.
This extortion series is highly complex in both scope, depth, and magnitude.
Police say threats, vandalism, and other suspicious activity spread outward to 2 daycares outside of the city. The locations are not being released to protect those involved. No children were believed to be in harm's way.
There was reasons these 2 specific daycares had been targeted, and for that reason, I don't believe that other daycares at this time will be targeted.
45-year-old Rana Chima has been charged with extortion and uttering threats. He was known to police. In 2020, charges of assault and threats to cause death or bodily harm were withdrawn.
The potential for people to be harmed is really significant, particularly when their firearms are being used and discharged into homes and businesses.
Police won't say if Chima has ties to organized crime locally or internationally.
The ability to track people down is greatly hindered by the fact that a lot of these operations are being directed and even sometimes actually managed outside of Canada.
There have now been 41 extortion attempts since last January, 18 involving shootings. This arrest is just the latest in a crackdown on extortion violence also plaguing the Lower Mainland and Edmonton.
People want to see the results, and once they see results, it kind of start to alleviate some of their concerns and, more importantly, fear.
The charges announced today are an important step forward. This is just the start of our enforcement work.
Chima is expected in court on April 22nd. Tim Brooke, CTV News, Calgary.
Calgary's emergency services are preparing for big budget asks in an effort to keep up with our growing city. The fire department needs crews for some of its trucks, and police hope to hire hundreds of officers over the next 4 years. Here's Jordan Kennigan with the details.
Calgary's emergency crews are dealing with more calls, and they're getting more complex.
When there's a shorter amount of people doing just as much of work or more complex work or more traumatic work, it has an absolute impact on our membership.
19% of officers are currently on leave or have accommodations keeping them off the front lines. The police chief wants to see 660 more officers hired over the next 4 years.
There are numbers that we need in each area because we've looked at the call load, we've looked at what's required.
Calgary is roughly 147 officers per 100,000 residents, a much lower ratio than cities like Vancouver, Edmonton, and Toronto. The national average is 178 officers per 100,000 people.
This is an issue that the province could erase in a single instant.
The fine revenue that they defunded our Calgary Police by, $28 million, that fine revenue would accommodate for at least 200 of the positions that the chief is asking for without raising a single cent or a single dollar of taxes on Calgarians or Albertans.
That money went away when the province limited photo radar locations. The city is covering the gap for now, but other departments need money too.
We need to open new stations and put new apparatus into service, new trucks into service, and for all of those things we need firefighters.
Exact funding requests aren't yet known, but the fire chief says they need money for more crews to man aerial ladder trucks and medical response units. Call volume is up and city sprawl is making response times slower than targeted.
We've grown the city with new stations on the periphery by just putting an engine in there, but not really thinking about how we need more of those ladder trucks.
Funding asks will be made in the coming months, and the next budget cycle will be debated in November. Jordan Canigan, CTV News, Calgary.
In a statement, the province says that there are no plans to expand photo radar, but the transportation minister says that fines for offences like speeding, careless driving and stunting, they have increased, and so some of that money will go to municipalities. Well, Calgary's housing supply varies depending on the property type. The Calgary Real Estate Board says the supply remained above the 10-year average for both row and apartment-style units and well below trend for detached homes. Housing sales were just shy of 1,900 in March, a slight jump year over year, but down 13% on average for the month. The benchmark for a detached home is $741,000 and $300,000 for a condo in Calgary. Well, the 20th anniversary of the Western Sledge Hockey Tournament is taking place this weekend at Winsport. Organizers say momentum for the sport has never been stronger following the Paralympic Games. The tournament will feature 29 teams from across Canada. The opening ceremony is tomorrow with round-robin play starting Saturday through Sunday. And more details can be found on calgarysledgehockey.ca. Gina, have you ever tried sledge hockey?
No.
I did. My triceps were dead in 3 seconds. Like,
I was going to say the upper body and like core support you need, and the balance as well.
Yeah.
Like, looks like they're having a lot of fun though. Like,
fun.
What a great workout and a good activity for these cooler temperatures. If you want to be inside, maybe check out that sledge hockey event. It's looking like this outside, at least for today, with temperatures hovering around freezing throughout the morning and into the afternoon. Right now it's -2 at the airport. Winds coming out of the northeast at around 13 kilometers an hour. Expect those winds to pick up from the north later this afternoon at 20 to 40 kilometers an hour, really getting a bite to the air, not helping with the visibility situation in the city. A lot of -2s throughout the city right now, including in Corner Brook, closing out all final phases. Last chance to build in Corner Brook by West Creek. Now, we do have similar temperature values outside of the city as well. Brooks right now sitting at 0 with snow, 2 in Medicine Hat, 1 in Lethbridge. Getting a bit of a reprieve, the Lethbridge area, from the precipitation. That story will change for you later today with more rain, snow moving in this afternoon for that south part of the province. Our heaviest snow will be this morning for Calgary. We're under that special weather statement right now. Same with areas both to the north, south, east and west of us, excluding Lethbridge currently, but that may change later today as the system starts to develop more in that area. Right now, a lot of the snow is curling from Medicine Hat towards Calgary here and just missing Lethbridge, but you're not going to dodge this entire thing in that area. It will come. This is a big system here, so more of that precipitation will move in later today, but just won't have as much energy to make its way up into Calgary by this afternoon. It's all due to this inverted trough, this kind of wavy system that we have right now, funneling in all that precipitation and cooler air as well. But nice warm air moves back in by the time Friday and Saturday arrives. High pressure as well, creating a more stable environment for the rest of the weekend. So we'll see those temperatures improve by tomorrow with more sunshine on tap, high of 7 degrees, and we'll continue to have that positive temperature trend right through until Monday. Your cheapest gas brought to you by Country Hills Toyota, home of free winter tires, and $5,000 off new electric BZ and Tacoma's your Toyota Giant. Now, prices aren't great heading into the long weekend here, but if you're lucky and you plan accordingly, you can find the prices as low as $163.9 a litre. That's at the Petro Canada on 4th Street Southwest. Coming up after the break, tech expert Mark Saltzman will tell us about the milestone birthday of the cloud.
Here are the 5 things you need to know for today.
We could be looking at vessels, demining expertise, intelligence, cyber capabilities as being items that Canada will contribute.
35 countries, including Canada, are set to meet virtually today to look at ways to reopening the Strait of Hormuz. Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand said that Canada would not hesitate to help secure the strait once there is a ceasefire. The U.S. will not be there.
Our armed forces have been extraordinary. There's never been anything like it militarily. Everyone is talking about it, and tonight I'm pleased to say that these core strategic objectives are nearing completion.
U.S. President Donald Trump giving an update on the Iran war during a primetime address to the nation last night. Trump says U.S. forces will hit Iran very hard over the next 2 to 3 weeks. He also suggested the war could wind down without a deal. In response, Iran's military is warning of crushing and destructive attacks.
Death of 1,000 cuts. Everywhere you go, everything is a few cents more.
We're already getting notifications of price increases, and in some cases, some of the distributors of products are tapping on surcharges, fuel surcharges.
And don't be surprised if your grocery bills start going up because of rising fuel costs impacting the supply chain. The Canadian Federation of Independent Grocers says shoppers should brace for higher prices. And maybe you've already seen a spike as some retailers admit they just can't absorb the rising costs. Experts say just how much of the shipping costs will be passed on to shoppers depends on what's being shipped. They also expect prices to remain inflated months after a potential end to the war. And people buying Easter chocolate may notice prices are high, even though cocoa prices are down. The cost for some chocolate is up about 15%, while cocoa has fallen more than 60% since last year. But analysts say that demand is high this time of year. Also, products on the shelves now were made months ago, and prices don't reflect costs right now.
3, 2, 1. Booster ignition. And liftoff.
Integrity, good roll pitch.
Roger, roll pitch.
Well, the Artemis spacecraft is orbiting the Earth right now after yesterday's historic launch from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. 4 astronauts are on their way to the moon, and that includes Canadian mission specialist Jeremy Hansen.
Well, you rely on it every day, yet probably aren't aware of it since it's invisible to its users. It's the cloud, a groundbreaking technology that drives much of our experiences today. Joining us to discuss the milestone birthday of the cloud and how AWS pioneered it all, we're joined now by tech expert Mark Saltzman. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Gina. Good to chat with you.
Yeah, you as well. This is so interesting. I guess for those who don't really know what the cloud is, kind of like myself, how would you explain it, basically?
Yeah, that's a great place to start. The cloud simply refers to accessing your files or running software over the internet instead of locally. So we'll get to some business applications in a moment, but as consumers, we may be watching Netflix. We're streaming a movie, right? Instead of having a piece of plastic, a DVD or a Blu-ray disc that's with you at home to watch that movie, you're watching it in real time over the internet. Yet it's as if it was local. You're able to pause and fast forward and rewind and turn on subtitles, all of that without having those files with you locally. So that's one example of what the cloud is, but it's really referring to either backup or running software over the internet in real time instead of locally where you are.
And like I mentioned off the top there, 20th birthday of the cloud, was it widely adopted 20 years ago when it all began?
Yeah, so you're right, by the way. So March of 2006, Amazon Web Services, or AWS, launched its S3 platform, which was primarily for businesses. So this is, instead of building and maintaining a server room, which is what we're looking at here, a very costly set of high-end computers at a local business on premises. Instead, companies were able to not just back up their important information in case something happened locally, like, heaven forbid, a fire, a flood, a nasty virus, but they're able to run programs as as if it was stored locally. And it was a lot more affordable, a lot more scalable, more cyber secure as well. And to your second question, it was adopted conservatively at first, but it didn't take long for companies to really see the value in it. Don't forget, the internet was maturing. It was becoming a lot faster, a lot more reliable. And then when the CIA started to adopt the cloud, a lot of small and medium-sized businesses and larger enterprise businesses like banks said, well, if it's good enough for the CIA, it's good enough for us. And then fast forward now 20 years to the month almost, we're talking 95% of Fortune 500 companies use AWS in some capacity. And that's the number one platform in the world right now, AWS, about a third by most estimates.
Wow. Well, let's talk about some of those common ways we do use the cloud today as consumers.
Yeah, as consumers, we talked about Netflix as an example. Your webmail, when you're reading it on a phone, a tablet, a laptop, a desktop, you're able to access your mail as if it was local, even though it's over the internet. We're looking here at Lyft. So when you order Lyft, that runs on AWS. So rideshare, right? So it's coming to you. You can see the little car on a map. Playing games over the internet is over the cloud in most cases. NFL, millions of data points of players can predict player injuries. Even F1. I had the opportunity last year to climb into a Ferrari on an F1 track in Italy with all of that data being analyzed by the cloud. So there's 300 sensors on these vehicles that are analyzing everything, sent up to AWS and then analyzed so every team can shave off milliseconds in their races. It's pretty wild stuff. It's everywhere. It's ubiquitous.
It's also here, or at least there is a Canadian angle as well to all of this, Mark.
Yeah, I know we got to wrap up, but James Hamilton, who hails from Victoria, BC, is Senior Vice President and a distinguished engineer at Amazon. He is credited for really bringing the cloud to where it is today at Amazon when he joined in 2009. And he was also instrumental in pushing AWS to create its own custom chips, hardware, which is now a $10 billion business to help process all of that information. And speaking of Canada, AWS does have data centers in Canada, both in Quebec and where you are in Calgary, for those businesses who prefer their data stay in Canada, or it may be a regulatory compliance thing. So yeah, the future is bright. By 2037, AWS says they're going to be investing $25 billion in both AI and cloud infrastructure in Canada to date, which is pretty wild.
For sure. This was so interesting, Mark. Thanks for this.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. And if you want more information, you can head to aws.amazon.com. Well, here's a look outside right now. Very snowy shot through our Skywatch weather camera, brought to you by Action Furnace. Fixed right or it's free. Yeah, we're really starting to see a lot of snow fall in the city right now. It's built up throughout the morning. Seeing a lot of accidents on the roads too. So a very slippery commute right now, both in Calgary, outside of the city as well. We're seeing special weather statements in effect because of the conditions out there and how they're impacting the roads. Only aiming for a high of 0 today. We got some strong northerly winds as well. So we're staying below seasonal, and many areas outside of Calgary are also having those temperature values around freezing throughout the day. Visibility really impacted in Calgary right now. We have less than 500 meters of visibility in the city currently, and that's producing a lot of slow sections around Calgary on Deerfoot, Stoney, Glenmore. And here's a look at those temperatures, like I was saying, for your highs today. Many areas like Lethbridge, Medicine Hat, and us are going to see those temperatures around freezing, maybe slightly in the positives, but that can just make things really slick on those roads. And of course, visibility impacted as well with those stronger winds. And look what's just popped up. We've been dealing with this weather statement all morning, but we also now have a yellow level snowfall warning in place for Calgary and the surrounding areas as well, which really makes sense with the amount of snow we're seeing fall right now and how quickly it's falling too. Look at this large band here. Earlier, the radar wasn't picking up as much snowfall, but it's really starting to intensify, turning from rain to snow and encompassing the entire Trans-Canada Highway to the east of us. So a pretty broad system producing all this precipitation in that counterclockwise direction. So it's all curling up from the warmer states areas up and cooling as it goes north into Calgary here. So it could be worse. It could be this Colorado low that's pushing into parts of Ontario right now along the Great Lakes. That's going to be a messy situation there as well. But it looks like we're going to be in the thick of this snowfall situation for a couple of hours before it tapers off into some flurries by this evening. Banff's seeing more of that snow now too, and it's going to pick up in the Lethbridge area by later this afternoon. Taking a look at your 5-day forecast here, one day of this, then we see more sunshine and positive temperatures returning to the forecast, and maybe get a nice sunset like this once again by the weekend. This shot for your morning view brought to you by Lux Windows and Doors, crafting quality windows and doors for your style, budget, and Alberta's climate. Lois texted us this picture at 10400. You could do the same thing, and we'll share it on the show. We'd love to see it. Coming up after the break, we've got your top headlines. Stay with us.
It's Thursday, April 2nd. Energy prices rising after U.S. President Trump's address to the nation. Mason will have the latest in a moment.
Our armed forces have been extraordinary. There's never been anything like it militarily. Everyone is talking about it.
Trump says the U.S. will hit Iran hard over the next few weeks, Iran vowing to retaliate.
3, 2, 1, booster ignition, and liftoff.
The latest on the Artemis mission on its 10-day journey around the moon. Good morning. Happy Thursday. Thank you so much for joining us here on Your Morning Calgary. Gina, I wish that rocket took off in Calgary and just blasted all the snow away.
Just melt it all away.
Yeah.
We'll have some sun tomorrow to help out with that situation, but it's got a lot of work to do.
Not as strong as a rocket, maybe.
No, not as strong and not as quick, but yeah, we got a lot. We got a lot going on here. We have a special weather statement in effect right now, and just recently we got a yellow level snowfall warning for Calgary too. So that's going to impact travel plans if you're trying to get a head start this weekend on getting out of the city. Just take it easy out there. Wait a little bit with the snow falling right now. We're sitting at -2. I'll talk more about how long the snow is going to be sticking around, Jackie, coming up.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Gina. Let's take a look at traffic. Signal work is starting tonight at 9 o'clock and ends Sunday at 10 p.m. There will be a 24-hour westbound lane closure for that on Crowchild Trail approaching 40th Ave in the northwest. And then as well, a 24-hour eastbound left lane closure on Crowchild at 53rd Street in the northwest. Please stay between midnight and 8 a.m. There have been 14 non-injury, 10 injury, and 5 hit-and-run non-injury collisions. So drive safe out there. And here is a live look at a traffic incident on 9th Street at 7th Avenue in the southwest. The road is closed southbound. Oil prices are back in focus, and so are prices at the pump after Donald Trump's address and escalating global tensions. Markets are certainly reacting this morning. Mason Despetit joins us with the latest on this. So,
Well, oil markets react instantly. Gas prices can take a couple days to adjust to price swings. So far, Gas Buddy has the average price across Calgary as $1.65 a liter. But in this part of town, I'm seeing many stations at $1.77 this morning. The key figure to watch, though, is WTI crude. That sets the baseline for what refineries pay and ultimately what drivers pay at the pump. Right now, it's being pushed by the global uncertainty, jumping about 9% to more than $109 a barrel. That spike partially followed Donald Trump's address yesterday, where the U.S. president said objectives in Iran are nearly complete, but still threatened to escalate conflict. Those tensions linked to the war are raising concerns about continued supply disruptions in the Middle East. That matters because even the threat of disruption can push prices higher, and those costs don't just stop at the pump. Canadian Federation of Independent Grocers says higher fuel prices are already working their way into the supply chain.
We're already getting notifications of price increases, and in some cases, some of the distributors of products are tapping on surcharges, fuel surcharges onto their deliveries.
The impact really depends on what's being shipped. If it's high-value items like electronics, then a few $100s more in fuel doesn't change much. But if it's groceries or produce, that same increase can quickly push prices higher for consumers. back to you.
Well, if everything holds, Calgary's water restrictions could lift today. Crews have turned on the pumps and the Bearspaw South feeder main is now in operation. They're keeping a close eye to make sure the pipe and water systems remain stable. Water restrictions began in Calgary and surrounding areas last month for repairs to the aging feeder main that saw 2 catastrophic breaks. Calgary condo owners can now turn to a condominium dispute resolution tribunal to resolve disagreements. The province says 1 in 5 Albertans live in a condo and that the new tribunal is a major step in strengthening consumer protections and improving governance. The tribunal will operate on a self-funded model paid for by the condo community. Fees for users range between $150 and $300. 2 exhibitions now on display at the military museums in Calgary are using still life paintings to explore themes of conflict, history, and Indigenous identity. Kevin Green reports.
At the University of Calgary Founders Gallery inside the military museums, the display Reading the Ruins brings global conflict and Canada's Indigenous history together through still life paintings. Curator Dick Averin says the exhibit uses still life to explore broader questions about identity and history.
With Reading the Ruins by David Garneau, first time that this exhibition has been presented in any gallery setting.
Métis artist David Garneau uses his canvas as a response to global conflict, questioning the role art plays during times of war.
Then I saw photos or videos from Ukraine and destroyed buildings, and I started thinking about that and thinking about the uselessness. Why are we making art at a time like this?
Alongside Reading the Ruins, another Garneau exhibit, Dark Chapters, looks closer to home by examining the legacy of residential schools and Indigenous identity.
The message, the content is so timely and fascinating and allowing people to have conversations that maybe they wouldn't otherwise have.
Together, the 2 shows share a common thread, that of reflecting on memory, loss, and how history is understood.
They're both in the same very large room. You can see they sort of bleed together so that you realize that they're related. They're not unrelated.
His paintings draw on a tradition known as memento mori, a Latin phrase meaning remember, you must die, used by artists to reflect on mortality. Here that idea is reimagined through painted objects like rocks, books, and bones, turning still life into a living conversation.
I see this work as part of a dialogue. With Indigenous art making, it's the story even more than the object. It's the dialogue among living human beings and not just the inert object.
Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
Welcome back to Your Morning Calgary. Easter is going to the dogs at Callaway Park, and it's always for a great cause. Alison Archambault is the National Service Dogs Board President and Calgary Easter Egg Hunt Coordinator, and she joins us now with details on what's always such a fun event. Good morning, Alison.
Good morning.
Tell me about the Easter Egg Hunt this year and just really what people need to know. Walk us through the event.
So this is the 28th annual Easter egg hunt for dogs and their families. There will be thousands of dog treat filled eggs scattered across Callaway's South Lawn. And the dogs and their families will go out, hunt for the eggs, and then the dogs get to enjoy the treats. The humans and the dogs get to enjoy a bunch of swag bag items, including toys from our generous sponsors.
Oh, I love just looking at these visuals here. I mean, you were telling me this has been going on for what, 12 years now? Or
12 years at Callaway Park. Yeah. They've been a tremendous partner, and you can just see how excited the dogs are.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful location to have, and looking out over the mountains, lots of space for people maybe with dogs who love this, and for maybe dogs that are a little shyer. There's lots of space to spread on out, and we have had very snowy years before.
I was going to say, this might be what it looks like tomorrow a little bit.
That's right, and the dogs aren't afraid of a little snow. Calgarians are a hardy bunch. they'll certainly make their way out as well. And there's fun to be had for all breeds, all ages, and all types of dogs.
So sweet. And of course, it's such a great fundraiser as well. What do proceeds from this event go to? The National Service Dogs.
So National Service Dogs puts specially trained dogs with children impacted by autism and veterans and first responders impacted by PTSD. All the monies raised from the event go to supporting NSD's work. It costs $50,000 to raise a service dog. NSD absorbs all those costs and gives the service dogs for free to the people that need them most. What we can do as people that don't need service dogs is we can help fundraise through events like this. This is our major fundraiser of the year.
You did bring a swag bag with you. Can you, maybe don't show us everything, but can you give us a little tease of what people will find in their swag bag this year?
Sure. So there are dog treats from Benny's Bullies, from Kong, from Mother Hubbard. There are dog toys, and the rest people are going to have to find out for themselves. They're really heavy. So everybody leaves with lots of treats in their belly, lots of treats in their bag, and some good feelings about having done some good on Good Friday.
What should people know before they go tomorrow?
So pre-registration is $25. You can go to nsd.on.ca. And you can also come tomorrow morning and register on site. We'll have plenty of room for everybody that shows on up. There are prizes for highest fundraiser. Because it's NSD's 30th anniversary, there will be purple eggs that'll be hidden if you find them. You have the opportunity to win an even bigger prize. And as you can see from the pictures, many people get in the spirit of things, and there's a best costume prize as well.
Oh, I love it. This is always such a great event. Thanks for coming in and telling us about it today.
Thank you. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter. And again, the National Service Dogs Easter egg hunt for dogs is happening at Callaway Park tomorrow, which is Good Friday. To learn more, you can head on over to nsd.on.ca. Well, this is the view on top of South Point Toyota, Calgary's #1 volume Toyota dealer. Very slow going on the roads right now. Give yourself extra time this morning, especially if you have long weekend travel plans and you're hoping to get a head start on them today. Driving conditions aren't great in the city, and they're just deteriorating outside of the city as well. The temperature has been steady at -2 this morning out at the airport, excuse me. With those winds picking up, they'll be predominantly out of the north later today at 20 to 40 kilometers an hour. So while the snow will start to subside, we'll still deal with flurries throughout the afternoon. Factoring in those winds, visibility will still be impacted later today out on those highways there. Like I mentioned, -2 throughout the city right now, including in Corner Brook. Last chance to own a home that backs onto a park in Corner Brook by West Creek. Down the road in Brooks, it's 0 right now with snow. Medicine Hat at 2 degrees. Lethbridge, you're sitting at 1. Not going to change much throughout the day. Might get slightly into the positives for areas like Lethbridge and Medicine Hat, but that actually can make the situation worse with this falling precipitation. Might fall as snow, then melt, and then refreeze. This is why we're seeing those weather statements in effect in that light teal color there. And then we've had these yellow level snowfall warnings pop up in Calgary, extending to Canmore and over into Strathmore, and slightly encompassing some areas southeast of Strathmore, as 10 to 20 centimeters could fall now. It wasn't looking like that in the models earlier this morning, but the system has really started to slow down and stall out over that snowfall warning area. So it's looking like a messy day ahead of us, and travel again will be impacted. This graphic is working for me now. So when it comes to totals, still suggesting for Calgary here, I'm going to say anywhere from 5 to 10 centimeters. But again, this system is a little bit unpredictable as it moves in and slows down over Alberta. So a slick day ahead of us that we're going to have to shovel out of on Good Friday here. But we'll have some sun helping us out by the time tomorrow comes around. And temperatures more in that seasonal range from Friday to Saturday.
Here are the 5 things you need to know for today.
We could be looking at vessels, demining expertise, intelligence, cyber capabilities as being items that Canada will contribute.
35 countries, including Canada, are set to meet virtually today to look at ways to reopening the Strait of Hormuz. Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand said that Canada would not hesitate to help secure the strait once there is a ceasefire. The U.S. will not be there.
Our armed forces have been extraordinary. There's never been anything like it militarily. Everyone is talking about it, and tonight I'm pleased to say that these core strategic objectives are nearing completion.
U.S. President Donald Trump giving an update on the Iran war during a primetime address to the nation last night. Trump says U.S. forces will hit Iran very hard over the next 2 to 3 weeks. He also suggested the war could wind down without a deal. In response, Iran's military is warning of crushing and destructive attacks.
Death of 1,000 cuts. Everywhere you go, everything is a few cents more.
We're already getting notifications of price increases, and in some cases, some of the distributors of products are tapping on surcharges, fuel surcharges.
And don't be surprised if your grocery bills start going up because of rising fuel costs impacting the supply chain. The Canadian Federation of Independent Grocers says shoppers should brace for higher prices. And maybe you've already seen a spike as some retailers admit they just can't absorb the rising costs. Experts say just how much of the shipping costs will be passed on to shoppers depends on what's being shipped. They also expect prices to remain inflated months after a potential end to the war. And people buying Easter chocolate may notice prices are high, even though cocoa prices are down. The cost for some chocolate is up about 15%, while cocoa has fallen more than 60% since last year. But analysts say that demand is high this time of year. Also, products on the shelves now were made months ago, and prices don't reflect costs right now.
3, 2, 1. Booster ignition. And liftoff.
Integrity, good roll pitch.
Roger, roll pitch.
Well, the Artemis spacecraft is orbiting the Earth right now after yesterday's historic launch from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. 4 astronauts are on their way to the moon, and that includes Canadian mission specialist Jeremy Hansen.
Hey there, Lindsay Hamilton inside the SportsCenter newsroom with your must-see moment from Wednesday. We are going to Toronto for this one. It's the Jays and Rockies. Jordan Beck chops one off the mound. Ernie Clements there goes behind the back to Andres Jimenez for the force out. What a play from Clement. Improvises on the run. Jimenez just going to scoop that up. That's some real nice defense from the Jays and worthy of your must-see moment. Meanwhile, today on TSN, World Men's Curling Championship is Canada taking on Germany. Coverage beginning at 4 p.m. Eastern. That's all for now from the SportsCenter newsroom. Have a terrific Thursday.
Well, the forecast to start off spring in Calgary hasn't been amazing, but Colin, spring has officially sprung inside Golden Acre Home and Garden, and we're in the beautiful perennial section here.
Yeah, I see this every year. I am beyond lucky, and it never fails to disappoint. Everybody has a sign of spring. It might be the first robin, the first tulip. Mine is this department coming to life.
And there are thousands upon thousands of different perennial options here.
Yeah, so I spoke to the staff, and this year, so everything you see here, if you come down this way and what you're seeing now on camera, was grown by our team right here, started in February, and we grew 15,000 perennials. And we've done everything from this lamb's ear, which is one of my favorites, one of my wife's favorites, just because of how soft it is, the classic hosta, and one that I think is underutilized, these amazing coral bells.
And what about this one I'm holding in my hand here? Already has a flower on it.
And that's why we picked that one. That's a columbine, an amazing plant. Oh my God, they come in reds, yellows, blues, purples, a huge spectrum. They're hardy, they can self-seed, an amazing plant. And we've got sedums, astilbe, lilies, daylilies, iris. We've got everything coming up. What we're looking at here is really just the tip of the iceberg.
And you were telling me too, these perennials, they're ready to go, but unfortunately our climate just not quite ready to get them right in the ground quite yet.
These are little babies. They've been very, very pampered. Yeah, they're good enough. If it was June and it was beautiful and we had access and everything was water and I would put one in the garden. Not so right now. This is inspiration. We are not advocating planting. It is still too early, but it's not too early to get the brain, the inspiration, and the ideas ticking.
Yeah, and of course, Golden Acre here is the best place to go for all your spring preparation and inspiration. If you want more information, head on over to goldenacre.ca.
Let's get gardening, presented by Golden Acre. Expert advice to help you grow.
Well, here's a snowy looking shot through our Skywatch weather camera, brought to you by Action Furnace. Fixed right or it's free. Visibility has been gradually deteriorating throughout Calgary this morning as that snow continues to fall and really intensify throughout the 8 o'clock hour here. Temperatures aren't going to help with the melting situation for today. So while this snow will be the heaviest during the morning hours, we're only aiming for a high of 0 this afternoon with some strong northerly winds, so keeping us below seasonal briefly. But by tomorrow, we should start to improve when it comes to both conditions and our temperatures. Taking a look at your dog walking forecast, brought to you by Paul Ackerman Real Estate. We have the very adorable Pepper brightening things up for us with a nice Easter-looking shot here. She is ready to go on her Easter egg hunt, but maybe wait till the weekend, Pepper, with these temperatures today. If you have a picture like Cindy does, you can text it to us at 10400. We love sharing your dog pictures on the show. Now, temperatures for today, like I mentioned, 0 for Calgary, 2 for Medicine Hat, and same in Lethbridge. So some positive temperatures, but that can make things even messier when it comes to conditions on the road. So we have a special weather statement in effect and this yellow level snowfall warning that just popped up this hour. This system has really stalled over the impacted snowfall warning area here, so including us, Canmore, Strathmore, but Medicine Hat and Brooks and Lethbridge still getting hit by this system too, with that messy mix of precipitation. So I'm still holding steady with Calgary, maybe seeing about 5 centimeters today, but don't be surprised if this system keeps stalling over us. That could get up towards 10 centimeters. And then improvement by tomorrow with some sunshine.
Well, coming up Monday on Your Morning Calgary, we'll get details on Girl Guides of Canada annual spring cookies sale and the importance of selling those cookies and eating them, of course.
Okay, big question to end the show here.
Yes.
Chocolate mint or
chocolate mint.
Okay, we're good.
You?
Chocolate mint. The other ones are good too, but I'm team chocolate mint.
I love it. Well, happy Easter, everyone.
Happy Easter.
Have a good weekend.